Welcome back to GoFundThis. Today, I have Sarah Falkiner with me. I'm really excited to have you here. This is a very different project. We're not talking about a Kickstarter this time. This is a GoFundMe, which this show absolutely wants to have. We just haven't had very many that have reached out to us. So I'm so glad you did, Sarah. Sarah, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, what you do.
Okay. My name is Sarah Falkiner, and I've been a Chicago public school teacher for the past 16 years. And I have been a filmmaker and writer for the past 3 years. And during COVID this summer, I was volunteering at my community garden, which was a lifesaver. It was my social world. I really got into composting. It was fun. But I realized on our compost Wednesdays that a lot of folks would come by and kind of loiter. And I think we all needed some bit of safe socialness. And so I had the bright idea to ask friends that I had, musicians or whatnot, to come on Wednesdays and perform outside, socially distanced. So that was going on. And I happened to meet some puppeteers, actresses, and singers, a small little group of people called Oddbox Theater. And as they were doing their rehearsal, I was watching them the night before the news had come out that Chicago Public Schools would start the school year remote. And I was watching them. I'm like, my goodness, this could be a TV show.
Sure.
And I got so excited because usually my films aren't very marketable. They're more social justice, pull on the heartstrings. I'm not really looking to make millions of dollars with my short films that I write and do. But I was like, my goodness, this is an idea. So I talked with them. They were excited about it. And within a month, I had pulled together a small crew and my friend from Gold Point Studio, who's a DP and also an editor. And we shot one day a little trailer. And we wanted to show what we could do. So we were plugging along with that. We were writing episodes. But the cool part was I wanted this to be like supplemental school almost.
Okay.
I wanted it to be accessible to kids because I work in a low-income neighborhood in Chicago, and I wanted it to be accessible to the kids that might not have the technology or the structure at home. I wanted it to reach kids and also just help bridge what we were lacking right then. So we started writing a few scripts and playing around with it. And then around, I think, end of November, I took it to some friends that are producers, and they were just friends meeting with me. And I said, what do you guys think? And they said, well, it looks really good, but Sarah, if you want somebody to take this seriously, you need to have this shot on a soundstage. And I was like, a soundstage? I usually play people with like tamales or something. Like, how am I going to afford a soundstage? And so they gave me some pointers like that. And I went back to my co-producer, Grace Pasula from Gold Point Studio, the DP, and I said, hey, what do you think? Like, we've never done crowdfunding, nothing like this. And she looked at me and she's like, if you're in it, I'm in it. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. So a lot of changes has come from that. We basically are looking to shoot on a soundstage at the end of March. Okay. We have a serious budget. It's $15,000, but that is going to pay for the technology, the set design that's being built. We're going to pay a stipend for our actors, our puppeteers. We have people that really know what they're doing, like helping us kind of put this together. So it's really exciting. And as all that comes together, it's also like the mission of our show has come together. So we see it as having 3 main important goals.
Sure.
So I have to tell you, I told you I was a CPS teacher, but I have really focused on early education. I currently teach preschool. I've taught kindergarten, first grade. I even 1 year taught second grade. So I am about reading all the way. So number 1, this would promote literacy with a read aloud. So
excellent.
Think Reading Rainbow, except comprehension is embedded into the episode, right? So there's got to be literacy. Also, I'm a huge proponent of social-emotional learning. And, you know, we have puppets, we have a multi-generational cast of adults. And it's not just like puppets having problems, adults solve them. The adults have problems.
Sure.
And in my experience, that's how children learn. It's not about me telling them how to solve a problem. They learn more when they watch me get upset and calm myself down. even if I'm playing, but, or they learn from modeling. And so I wanted that to be a part of our script, because I feel like now more than ever, kids need to be talked to straight. They need to address some of the stuff they see on TV and on the news. It's scary. They deserve that. And then the third piece of the show would be sustainability. Because our show takes place at a garden, we want this to be all about, our set is mainly recycled, repurposed. A lot of our themes focus around the earth or diversity, all these things. And so we wanted it kind of to encompass those three things. And that, my friend, is what I'm trying to do.
Okay. And it's called At the Garden. Very appropriate name now that we know the whole story.
Yeah, right.
So the show itself, what do you hope to do with this show?
That's a good question. So we're really trying to shoot a concept. We want to be able to present this. I want to get to the table. I want to get in front of people that have some money to make this a reality.
Sure.
Because we have talented actors, talented musicians, puppeteers, all this stuff we have. But I want to get to that table that's very elusive for filmmakers. And it's not to make money. It's to bring up the people that are involved. Personally, I would like to oversee the curriculum of the show, because it has a curriculum. And I think that's something that you don't see in a lot of shows, because each episode kind of has a focus, but I'm embedding comprehension tactics into the read aloud. We're talking about like science, experiments, or things that I know children need at a young age to succeed in school, the building blocks that they need, whether it's math, recognizing patterns, or, it's much more than, I love Sesame Street, but it's much more than counting,
Sure.
or having a letter of the day. There's so many other things that go into building a very strong child academically. So I really hope that I can have a part at kind of shaping that if this dream becomes a reality.
Sure. Very cool. Now, I have a couple of questions involving this. So this is a proof of concept, like you said. You've got everybody in place. This goal you have on the GoFundMe is for $15,000. And as of this recording, we are at 5,140. So whenever you look on there, if that's the number it's at, you know how quickly I got this back up there. So this is not like a Kickstarter where the project doesn't happen if you don't hit the goal. Is this still happening? Is there like no risk, but this is really going to help?
Yeah. At this point, I don't like to think about failure. So we have a couple things in place. We are offering some incentives, which is kind of unique to GoFundMe. They don't really have it set up that way. So when people donate, we have some offers for them. We give them a link to a Google form. And if they donate $25, they get a puppet written postcard that we have printed for them.
Fun.
And then we have like a Zoom wrap party that people for $100. We have like a workshop that I talk about literacy. We have some things like that. But we are also really excited. Next week, we're going to have a corporate sponsor graphic. So if a business wants to have a little graphic for their website or whatnot that says proudly supports children's education with their logo in it, we have that. And one thing that I'm super excited about, I'm going to take a deep breath before I talk.
Okay. Everybody hold on.
Yeah, right. I got this. Okay. So our campaign is going to end March 7th. And 15,000 is a lot of money. But right now we are a third of the way there. Okay. So we're on track.
Oh, yeah.
So March 7th is the deadline, but March 6th, we're going to have a culminating event with one of my heroes in children's literature. Her name is Sharon Dennis Wyeth. She wrote a book that turns 25 years old today, this year, called Something Beautiful. This book is about a little girl that looks in her neighborhood. It's a low-income neighborhood, and she sees things that hurt her heart. And her mother tells her to look for something beautiful in the neighborhood. She goes out and she finds beauty in her friends playing jump rope. in the fish sandwich at the diner. She finds beauty everywhere, whereas before she was sad because there were bad words spray painted on, her apartment building, or there's a homeless woman. This is all part of her life. And so as she sees these things that are beautiful in her neighborhood, she realizes that one day when she grows up, she can make the world a more beautiful place.
I like that.
It is amazing. Sharon Dennis Wythe. And every year that I have taught, I have read this book. And it is amazing the reaction kids get. They see their lives. So when I started out as a teacher, I began in Cabrini Green. And I was blown away at the resiliency, the grit, the love within the family that I saw in the neighbors and everything. But this book spoke to them. I now work in West Humboldt Park. This book speaks to children. They see this stuff. They see homeless people. They see graffiti. They see scary things, but they can also find the beauty in what's around them. So Sharon Dennis Wythe is letting us use an excerpt of her book, 2 pages, in this proof of concept we're shooting. Which is awesome. And then she's also going to be part of this culminating event on March 6th, where we're going to have an interview with her. And guess who gets to interview her? I do. I'm such a fan.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And she'll read it too. So we're hoping that can also help us push us up to our goal.
Wow. That is really great. Now, the puppet design, I got to say, I love it. I love it. Because if you go to the GoFundMe, you can see, once again, it's called In the Garden. At the garden. Sorry, I got it wrong. I was trying to scroll fast enough to see what it was called.
Okay.
At the garden.
There you
And
go.
I will put, I'm going to make it even easier because I always forget everything. I am going to put the link in the show notes. That'll make it really easy for people.
Well, and I can do one better. If they search At the Garden Chicago, it's going to pop up, and we're the only one with 2 puppets.
Great. Well, what I was going to say, so I'm looking at it and the puppets look great. It's very striking. I love the look of your campaign here. It's just fantastic. One question I have, you said you shot a little pilot. Is that, I see a thing that says Next Stop Soundstage on here, but is that buried in here, or is that
it's actually
not out there?
It's actually at the bottom of the GoFundMe. So the trailer is on there. It's 2 minutes long. The funny thing is when my producer and I, when we got together to try and design this GoFundMe, we were so thoughtful about it. But what I've realized is people with GoFundMes, you either grab them right away and they often don't scroll down. And ours is pretty thorough. We spent hours on it before we launched. But at the bottom, you will see our trailer.
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it. The recommendation I'm going to have to people is just keep hitting show more, because it's going to keep opening it up. It's going to give you all these details. It's fantastic. And then you get down here and it says early concept video, and there it is. And once again, the puppet's very striking. And I love how bright and colorful they are. I know that's speaking to kids, and not just like any puppets. These have a very multicultural feel to them.
Yeah, and that I have to give a ton of credit to Oddbox Theater. So Oddbox Theater, the 2 women behind it, Sivan Spector and Jackie Smook, are amazing. And they create puppets that is Barth and Iris that you're looking at.
Okay.
They're very whimsical, but they also, Sivan specializes more in these animals. So there's Pepper, the elephant, and there's Cardinal Red, that actually the puppeteer is kind of part of the puppet. So they are amazingly talented, and they don't just make puppets. They are 2 of the actors that are featured in the trailer. And they also helped with writing. So we have 4 episodes written. And then we also have like a pilot. And so we have a lot of stuff done, but you never know what people will want. They might,
right.
Who knows? But yeah, we put a lot of thought into it. So thank you for that. That's really amazing. And on that note, they have really shaped our set design, because we really are about sustainability. And so a lot of our, we have 2 characters that are actually trees. And so our builder is creating these trees where the actors will be inside of them. And we're using, here's a secret. Our plan is to use corrugated cardboard as part of the texture of the trunk. And
Okay.
then the actors' faces will be poking out, and their arms are part of their limbs. And then the whole top of the tree will be made out of recycled things. So
Oh, fun.
yeah, it's very earth friendly.
Yeah, this is just a really cool project.
Thank you.
Man, the other thing is I wanted to say, you said how, hey, you're a third of the way there. Having done this show and talked to so many Kickstarters, so many GoFundThis, all these things, you are well on your way. You are in a great position right
Oh,
now. So this is a project that I can't encourage people enough to get behind. I'm going to say what I say on every episode. I'm going to say it right now. You want to support this, even if you, for some reason, can't. You're like, man, I just can't. The way you can support it, spread the word. There's a share button right there on the page, because you don't know who your friends are that are going, oh my God, I have a real high passion for literacy, or
mhm.
this speaks to me and I want to make sure that this word is getting out there. This is a great project and you just don't know. Sarah, you don't know, but my wife and I used to help run a literacy campaign. See, my mom was a first and second grade teacher that was all about this stuff. Uh, I mean, you just don't know who you're talking to and who they know. So I'm telling you, out there, share the heck out of this thing. Let's make this one happen. It really deserves it. It's really, really something special. And when we're done, I am going to watch that trailer that you made, your proof of concept there. But I can already tell I'm going to love it just from the image. I went, oh yeah, I'm in. This is great.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. And yeah, we're doing a lot of social media stuff too. So we have a Facebook at the garden page. We're on Instagram. I'm
Okay, give that right now, and we'll put all of that in the show notes too. So
oh,
why don't you give some of those addresses out?
yeah, definitely. So Facebook, our page is at the Garden TV Show. And Instagram is at, well, ATG TV Show. So at sign ATG TV Show. And I can't remember my Twitter handle, but if
It'll be in the show notes. Now we have a treasure hunt for people. They'll
okay,
have to go looking in the show notes to find it.
yeah, there is a clue. Our profile pic on Twitter is our two puppets. So and I'm on Twitter too. It's making me learn Twitter. And I'm still not so great at it, but we really are trying to just kind of keep pushing it out there and letting people know and talking about it, because kids need this.
Yeah.
I feel that this is so important right now, and I'm so blessed to have the talent around me to kind of make this happen.
Yeah, this is really wonderful. Sarah, thank you so much for being on. I fully want to see this thing happen. This is a great project, and you've done a wonderful job with it. So congratulations, and let's make this one happen.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.